Mental health challenges aren't just an individual concern, it's a global one. And it's becoming a bigger and bigger concern, not just because of the cost that they keep racking up. In fact, in 2019, it was over $225 billion spent in the US alone. But more so because even the concept of a mental health challenge is largely stigmatized, misunderstood, and even hard to recognize. Therefore, making it even more tricky to treat. In today's short video, I am going to be sharing the 9 things that are not helping your mental health and how to begin stopping those things from happening over and over again. Are you ready? Let's go. Hello, my name is Dom, and I help people to step into their truth and power. When it comes to our mental health today, the reality we find ourselves in points to one glaring fact. The task of protecting, managing, and treating, keeping your mental facilities healthy is largely your responsibility. So doing things to improve your mental health is not just about therapy, practicing meditation, or sticking to a medication that you've been prescribed to take. There are also things you should not do in order to help yourself. It is true, life is full of ups and downs, and for some people, it's always been the downs, and they struggle for the rest of their lives trying to cope moving through those down experiences. And sometimes, unexpected things happen that shake healthy people to the foundations of their being too. Other times, prolonged challenges from life events mount an insane amount of pressure on people's lives, and they're left struggling under the immense weight of the pressure. Nobody consciously chooses to have these negative experiences happen to them. However, it is still our responsibility to stand up and do something about the situation that we find ourselves in. And so for the sake of this video today, we will be focusing solely on 9 things. 9 things you might be doing and have full control over that aren't helping your mental health. Number 1, isolation. Isolation simply means being disconnected from other people. Not a lot of people know this, but isolation has been observed to actually physically alter the brain of lab animals. This causes the brain to shrink and lead to other abnormal brain changes that are similar to those of patients with Alzheimer's disease. Isolation also increases the risk of depression, stress, anxiety, loneliness, heart attack, and stroke. Through the recent pandemic that we've all been in, we've been much more isolated from each other. And not only does isolation increase the risk of all of these things, depression, stress, anxiety, loneliness, heart attack, and stroke, but when our bodies enter a recovery situation, whether that's from an illness or injury, isolation causes the healing process to be exceptionally longer. Isolation also dampens our immune system, which increases us getting sick more often. So while I'm not suggesting if you're sick, you spend more time with other people, I am saying that as soon as your contagious symptoms are gone, it is really important to not stay isolated. But when you do step up to do this, it is advisable that you do cut off and spend less time in unhealthy social interactions. And it is crucial that you build and maintain healthy interactions in place of them. Number 2, poor social interactions. Now, thanks to the internet and particularly social media, we can now stay connected with millions of people all around the globe. And this is awesome. But one problem with it is that it's also created an avenue to escape reality, to escape real physical and social interactions. The result is that those who stay glued to the screens and ignore spending quality time with loved ones can consequently emotionally starve themselves. The simple habit of going out and meeting new people or loved ones and putting the phone away when interacting with them can go such a long way in helping your mental health. Number 3, multitasking and busyness. A lot of people are very busy being busy. And for the sake of our mental health, we must figure out the difference between the tasks that are important and those tasks that are urgent. And oftentimes, the tasks that you might think as urgent are not really that important. Juggling several urgent activities often comes with cognitive costs, which brings about burnout. This can lead you to feeling drained for the truly important task, not to mention being stressed and leaving you in a bad mood. So slow down and focus on the most important things only. Number 4, not putting yourself first. Saying yes to everyone is a very unhealthy thing to our mental state. For a start, it can leave a lot of dreaded and unimportant tasks on your to-do list. Not only will this make you feel miserable, but it can also leave you stressed and feeling bitter, tired, resentful, and sometimes sad. Before doing for others, you must take the time to do for yourself, to take care of you. Do for yourself first. Although this is number 4 on the list, I really think for many people, this might need to be number 1. And if that's true for you, type in the comments, I am putting myself first today. I am putting myself first today. Number 5, suppressing your thoughts and feelings. We do not overcome our negative emotions like fear, anxiety, sadness, and anger, by ignoring or suppressing them, but by consciously processing them and facing them in a healthy kind of way. When we stuff down or ignore our thoughts and emotions, we risk having them build up only to explode or implode at an unexpected time, sometimes with an unbearable intensity. Situations like this can lead to experiencing a breakdown, having panic attacks, or emotional outbursts, just to mention a few. These issues can be avoided simply by talking to someone that you trust, or to find a healthy way to not suppress those negative thoughts and emotions. It can be so hard to simply ask for help though, and most of us don't have the coping skills or knowledge of how to deal with these things, but you can learn, and it will help you. If you would like some help in learning how to do this, connect with me and let's talk. We'll explore together how this would work best for you. Moving on to number 7, lack of sunlight. As I record this video, it is January here in New Jersey, and I find because it's more often cold and wet in the wintertime, I spend much less time outdoors. But studies have proven that spending just 15 minutes a day in the sunshine can greatly boost your mood because sunlight helps synthesize vitamin D, which is believed to be a major mood booster. Being out in the sunlight also helps to optimize your circadian rhythm so you can sleep better at night, all of which brings about a healthier state of mind. Even if you feel that you can't leave your house yet, simply sitting by a window or out on your deck to get a dose of sunshine can really help you here. Number 8, a poor sleeping habit. Anxiety, depression, stress, and some other mental health challenges both cause and are worsened by a lack of adequate sleep. Due to this circular relationship between sleep and mental health challenges, it's vital that a good sleep schedule is followed religiously. Having an erratic sleeping pattern, especially when sleep time is reduced, often leads us to go to dark places in our mind and feel more negative emotions. And last but not least, number 9, junk, drugs, and alcohol. Food and substances are often viewed as coping mechanisms, but they can also worsen your situation too. For instance, the chances of a person harming themselves significantly rises once they start using substances. This may be because of how the substance, negatively affects their mood, other coping skills, self-esteem, and relationships. On the other hand, bringing in comfort foods may feel like a very effective means to relieve yourself and boost your mood. But just like alcohol, they can also leave you feeling depleted, ashamed, and guilty in the long run if you don't eat them in moderation. And this is where so many people struggle, including myself. The entire first half of my life, I was dealing with anxiety that I didn't even know that I had. But clearly, I comforted that by being an emotional eater because I used food to calm my anxieties, and as a result, spent the first half of my life 80 pounds heavier than I am right now. It's not what you're eating that is the problem. That is only the symptom. It's the why that is the problem. Why am I doing that? I had to be ready to face what was at the root of it so I could manage it more effectively. And my friend, I know this is not easy to do, but in the long term, it is the most effective way to do it. Having done this work myself for many, many years, if you're struggling with this, I invite you to connect with me. One reason many people slip into these aforementioned habits is that they can be so alluring. Avoiding social contact and distracting yourself with endless social media feeds can be really easy. It's easy to avoid dealing with upset people by just saying yes and mounting tasks upon yourself. But this can serve to help you run from the important task of processing your own thoughts and feelings. Not exercising and staying indoors all day can seem like the easiest choice. And it's easy to stay up all night watching TV and having your nightly glass of wine and portions of comfort foods to fill up the inner emotional voids. But you must realize that the small things we do each day significantly add up very quickly. You must also remember that the assignment of taking care of your health, including your mental health, is in your hands. And all that you do or don't do works for you or against you. I recognize that some of this is easier said than done. I mean, after all, if it was so easy, you would have done this before. So if you can do anything at all to help yourself feel better, just give it a try. Give one of these things a try. Try something different each time and resist holding judgment around the results. But instead, stay in curiosity. I mean, think about the light bulb for just a moment. Today, we just flip a switch and instantly a light bulb lights up. But do you realize that in order for us to be able to have that experience today, that Thomas Edison, who created the light bulb, his teachers told him that he was too stupid to learn anything? Do you realize that he was fired from his first 2 jobs for being non-productive? And as an inventor of that very light bulb that we flip a switch on and expect to turn on an instant, do you realize that he had 1,000 unsuccessful attempts at trying to light it for the very first time? And can you imagine if he gave up after the 100th time, the 500th time, or even worse, the 999th time? You see, when he approached this stuff over and over and over again, when he failed, he didn't get all judgmental with himself. He approached everything he tried from a place of curiosity, and staying in curiosity allowed him to inch his way to success one step at a time until he lit up the world in his own unique way with the light bulb. So I'm curious, after watching this video, which of these 9 things are really resonating with you the most? Or what are you taking from this video today? Share it in the comments below because I'd love to help inspire and encourage you to step into doing the very things you need to do to improve your, not just your mental health, but really your overall health. And if you found this video helpful, I'd like to invite you to join my brand new free online community, ProEmpowerment Online. I am sharing valuable content in the newsfeed of that community each week, but even more, you'll have the ability to join in the conversation in a place where you can feel free to be with like-minded people without feeling judged or being shut down or censored for your beliefs. To join me in the community, it's 100% free. Just click on the ProEmpowerment Online link in the comments and description box below, and I'll see you over inside that community. And so with that, I'd like to thank you for joining me today. I love that you've taken just a little bit of your time to join me here. And so until I connect with you again for my next video, stay strong, stay healthy, and stay empowered.